Hey everybody, it's Anthony. I'm back with you again. Today we're going to take a little bit deeper look into Doge and see what kind of stuff they have been doing and what they've been getting into so far. So let's see what Elon's up to. All right, so far, USAID has had $32.5 billion in questionable spending frozen. GSA, their budget has been slashed from $64 billion to $32 billion. The EPA, $5 million climate justice grant has been canceled. Federal contracts, 115 million in bloated federal contracts cut in one day so far. That already is huge. So excited to see what else we're getting into. The next phase is work reduction. They plan on getting rid of 50,000 plus federal workers. They're going to audit the Pentagon, targeting 200 billion in missing money. They're going to modernize the IRS finally, leaving behind technology that was from 1984 that we've been running on since. Federal agency leaderboard launching. Think Yelp for bureaucrats. Let's see what else we got. So there's new rules being implemented by President Trump and Elon Musk. 4-to-1 hiring freeze, meaning only one new hire for every 4 departures. Office consolidations. There's a lot of buildings out there that aren't being used because people are still working from home or for whatever reasons, and they're still paying top dollar for. So they're going to consolidate all those buildings and get our people back to work so we're not wasting money on empty space. No more work from home Fridays, or I don't know how, I've heard a lot of them are working from home, period, but at least no more work from home Fridays. They're going to make sure everybody's getting back into the office to help run this country and make sure everything's going right. Bureaucrat relocation. 30% of DC's bureaucrats are being moved out. Strict oversight of every dollar tracked, and every contract will be scrutinized. See, FTC staff reports find large social media and video streaming companies have engaged in fast surveillance of users with lax privacy controls and inadequate safeguards for kids and teens. The report recommends limiting data retention and sharing restricted targeted advertising and strengthening predictions for teens. All right, so here we got Predator in action. DC's in an uproar. All the politicians are going nuts. Their slush funds are drying up. Their extra money's being stopped. They can't send anything out and get their cut anymore. Plus, now they're probably pretty worried about how much of that's going to be able to be tracked back to them. And the way everybody's going nuts, I'm betting there's quite a bit of it that's going to be able to be tracked back. But Elon's main question to Congress: where did you guys get all your money? This country's in such bad shape. Everybody's having a hard time. Yet you guys come in here and you, on a 6-figure salary, what, 100, 125, $150,000 a year, maybe more. I'm not sure exactly. But yet, after a couple years in DC, everybody's millionaires because of what? Inside trading, of course. So they want to look into how all these guys are making money. How are they getting so rich when their income shows that they shouldn't be able to? So, Doge has unprecedented access. All right, they have access to the Treasury. They're auditing the Pentagon. They're completely auditing and doing a review of all spending and contracts. They're canceling contracts that have been being paid out for years and years and years after they've been ended. Like, it's insane. They're going to do a spending review and track where every single dollar's gone. Now, they're also finding out that some of these programs that USAID has been funding and helping out, they're actually terrorist training camps. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. So yeah, says The USAID program fuels extremism. Funds labeled for initiatives like Women's Scholarship Endowment, which was $60 million a year, and Young Women Lead, $5 million a year, are diverted to terrorist training camps in Madras linked to ISIS, Khorasan, and Boko Haram. Well, that doesn't sound like money well spent, does it? U.S. taxpayer funds sent to terrorist groups. $697 million annual funding to Afghanistan. Despite the Taliban's takeover in 2021, the U.S. sent $697 million to Afghanistan in 2024 alone, including $534.7 million via USAID. Weekly cash shipments, an additional 40 to 80 million of physical cash flown to Afghanistan every 7 to 10 days with no oversight on its distribution. Taliban martyrs, welfares, family of Taliban fighters, they're probably the ones getting most of this. This is insane. And everybody's so pissed off that it's ongoing, like that nobody has stopped it yet, but they're all pissed off that Elon Musk is trying to stop it, actually trying to find this stuff and put an end to it. You got to be one way or the other. You can't have it both ways, guys. So now Elon wasn't elected, of course, but millions of federal employees weren't elected. Nobody elected Fauci. Nobody elected Jerome Powell. Nobody elected the IRS agents. Nobody elected the cabinet heads. Nobody elected the directors of the CIA, the FBI, or the CDC. So, how do they get elected? Well, they're either appointed or they're hired. That's it. It's not like a presidential election or anything, or governors or anything like that. It's whoever can do the job the best is the one that needs to be up there doing it. So, they're finding all kinds of our taxpayer money that has been hidden from us. It's not in public databases. Spending information was deliberately kept out of the view of the public. It's been buried under subgrants. Funds were hidden within complex grant structures. Money that was meant to go out for grants, but it was so mixed up that no one could find it or access it. Front organizations. Money funneled through organizations like EcoHealth Alliance. There was also this $32,000 that was given out for a comic book, a transgender comic book in Peru. Another $50,000 was sent to Colombia for a transgender opera. I mean, I don't understand. 33% of our money is wasted or stolen. All right, that means 1 out of every $3 of your tax dollars is being wasted or stolen. Period. But yet they keep raising our taxes and getting more. All right, so there was $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq and $2 billion in lost HUD money, enough to fund 100,000 first-time buyers. So let me ask you, if you had an accountant and your accountant lost $2 billion, what would you do? A, fire them. B, give them a raise. Or C, let them work from home on Fridays. Hey, guess what our government does? Jeez. Unreal. So Doge discoveries. Questionable spending. Everybody keeps talking about, is it waste, fraud, or abuse? Well, I mean, waste, fraud, and abuse is all pretty much the same thing. All right, if it's not going towards our country and the betterment of our country or our people, then it's waste, fraud, or abuse. Period. All right. They've found major financial irregularities, $697 million to Afghanistan, like we spoke about, $40 to $80 million cash flights every week with zero oversight. Maybe for poppy or heroin production, I don't know. $136 million for 120 Pakistani schools that were never built. All right, never built. 120 schools, $136 million. And they were never built. And $60 million annually for women's education in Taliban-controlled areas where women aren't allowed to attend school. It's incredible how stupid the people running our government are. They just waste everything. Unreal. So there are a few additional agencies that are going to be impacted. They're going to be checked out by Musk and Doge. The EPA, they lost 104 diversity contracts. Diversity's out. Like, I don't know if y'all caught on to this yet, but it's out. It's gone. All right, Department of Education, the Institute of Education Science Programs have been terminated. I don't know what all they're going to cut from the education. I haven't heard a whole lot about that, so I'm going to look into that a little bit more. This sounds bad, but I don't know exactly what that entails. In Climate Justice Alliance, $50 million funding scrapped. Climate justice. Man, we're saving a lot of money already. A whole lot of money. GSA, General Services Mission, is cut in half. Their budget slashed from $64 billion to $32 billion. 12,000 employees are on the chopping block, and regional offices have been condensed from dozens to just 5. The agencies that have been hit the hardest are, like I said, USAID, $32.5 billion frozen in funding. Humanitarian budget suspended. Global programs are halted. CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is in complete paralysis. Operations are frozen. Financial investigators fired, and systems have been locked down. And amid all this, I mean, they're wasting all this money, blowing all this money, and giving away all this money to these other countries, and basically whoever wants it except for Americans. I mean, we can't even get vouchers or help with our own housing. Low-income Americans have waited years to get housing vouchers that are often impossible to use. So, I mean, we give away all this, but we don't do hardly anything for our own people. We try to block them at every turn, it seems like, if they're trying to get their life a little bit ahead. And like I said, politicians are just going crazy. So there also have been a lot of mass firings via Zoom. Like, for example, the Forest Services, they've lost 3,000 employees. The CDC has lost 1,300 staff. I'm good with that too, because the CDC has been in all kinds of shit, and they haven't been able to help us. They've been causing more problems than they've been fixing anymore. Rapid clearance. These people have been given just 30 minutes to clear out their desks and move on with their lives. So maybe if you'd have done your job a little bit better, you'd still be around. Executive orders and initial actions so far. So 20th of January on 2025, Trump signs the executive order for Doge. Musk moves into the Eisenhower building. He sleeps on the couch, sometimes the floor. The guy works like all the time, nonstop. It's amazing that he finds time for his kid, but it's awesome that he does find time for his kid. Doge begins assessing Treasury Department payment systems, freezing U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID funds. Trump directs Doge to audit Pentagon spending. The federal workforce changes. Federal workforce buyout program expires. 77,000 employees accepting early exit offers. Well, that's about all I got for you so far. That's a lot more information than I knew before. So we're going to keep following this. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about Doge or Elon or the government. That would be a lot of fun to go through. Like I said, I think they're doing a great job. I'm all for it. I say full steam ahead. But let me know your thoughts.